This customer was ready to shell out the big bucks. They thought something major was wrong with their car, and it ended up being simple. You guys got to be careful out there. Let's find out what it was. Let's get started. Kia.
Wizard, come on, those are plants, but they actually get hair on their heads.
Oh, you mean the chia pets?
Yes, the chia pets.
That's right, they're chia.
Chia, yeah.
Okay, whatever, Kia, same thing. This is a 2014 Kia Optima. Are these reliable? Not really. It's right at the fine line. The older Kia models are actually okay. But right when you get about 2014 and go to 15 and 16 and 17, it really takes a nosedive and goes downhill really fast. This one's held up the test of time. It's actually still in decent shape. Lucky for them, at least I don't know that it's caused them a bunch of trouble. But it came in making some noises in the dash. Is something wrong, like one of the motors or something? And they were worried because the AC wasn't blowing cold anymore. And they were like, oh my God, something major is wrong. This is going to be expensive. Let's find out what it is. Let's get it fixed. I got to have AC. This is one of those situations, guys, that if you don't have a trusted shop and you just take it to willy-nilly anybody, you could really get taken to the cleaners. And the second bit of advice I have for you guys, which this customer was they just want it fixed, they didn't know any better, never, ever tell your mechanic what you think is wrong with your car. Ever. Say, it's making this noise, here's the car, tell me what you found out. Even though you might have an idea in your head what it could be, don't say anything. Because if it ends up being something really cheap to fix your car, they know you're already expecting a big bill. They're not going to let you go without writing up a big $2,000 or $3,000 bill when it could have been $200 or $300. I know some shops, I've heard of some shops in the area that they have practiced that kind of a thing. Oh, you think it's going to be a head gasket? Okay, well that's what you're getting quoted. And it ends up being something small. Let us know in the comments some of the stories you guys have with situations like that where you know something small is what it really was wrong with the car, but they tried to take you to the cleaners. Before we dive into what they thought was wrong and what was actually wrong, let's take a look around this Optima. Well, Mrs. Wizard, I think they're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I think that's what that star there means.
You can see the badge up there, Kia. Now, as you come around to the side, it has just some normal alloy wheels. Those are 16-inch wheels. Nothing fancy, but they do look nice. You can see that the paint shows well. It's not caved in or beat up or rusted or peeling. And it actually presents well. It's a decent car. It is the GDI 2.4 liter, which we'll show you here in a minute. But this side is equally as nice. Let's go ahead and get the hood open. Talking about making this car safe for the hot weather that's yet to come, it reminds me of something Daniel-san has in his car. Let me show you. This is Daniel-san's Hyundai Santa Fe. He's had it for a while, and even though it's not a supercar, he still wants to protect the investment in his ride. There are so many crazy drivers out there. He wanted to make sure he's covered if anything were to go wrong, and to help him keep an eye on it, he needed a dash cam. Luckily for him, Red Tiger is sponsoring this video and sent us an F77 dash cam. It has 4K cameras in the front and in the back with a Sony IMX678 image sensor. That's the same video quality we use to film our Car Wizard videos. Since we don't only drive during the day, this F77 has Starvis 2 Starlight Night Vision, again in the front and in the back. I bet this camera can see better at night than my cat. The dash cam is easy to install and simple to use. The touchscreen lets you swipe between views and change settings like resolution and other options. The app makes viewing footage a breeze. The F77 uses Wi-Fi to connect between 5.8 and 8 megabits a second, and since this dash cam has 128 gigabytes of built-in storage, the fast connection makes viewing and downloading fast. To keep you safe while you're driving, the F77 has 12 voice controls that will help you focus on the road, yet keep an eye all around the car. You invest a lot in your car and depend on it to be in good shape. Your mechanic can keep it running, but this Red Tiger F77 dash cam can watch out for you the rest of the time. In the description below, you'll find a special offer just for my viewers and a link to take you to this dash cam. Now I know Daniel-san's car is safe. Let's get back to that Kia. Under the hood, we have the 2.4 GDI, which is the beginning of terrible, terrible quality for Kia. I don't know if this is the original engine or not. If it is, it's amazing. It may be on the second or third engine. But I definitely know in the 15 and 16 Elantras, when they had the 2.4 GDI like this, Just like I mentioned in a previous video, there was a time where the dealerships couldn't even sell you an engine because they were going through them so fast themselves with warranty. They didn't even have any in stock because they were failing over and over and over and over. Is this a good car? I probably wouldn't recommend it, but this customer seems to have had good luck with this one. It is in very good condition. We don't have anything to do under the hood other than what was wrong with this car, but before we dive into that, let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior and show you that pesky noise that it makes.
Okay, ladies and gents, there you have it. This has 221,325 miles. Wow, quite impressive for this. And this is definitely an around the town car because their average speed is 33 miles an hour. So, okay, dash looking good. Gauge cluster's looking nice. Go ahead and move up. Okay, looking good with this many miles. Dash is still in good shape, even though it's had a few miles on it. We've got nice kind of charcoal on the top. We've got a nice camel ivory kind of color on the bottom. So here we are at our infotainment screen, and yes, this is a one color model. Yes, it has just one color of red. That's all you get for that screen there. Okay, very simplistic, very non-21st century. So okay, kind of looks like an old ATM from the 1980s. But moving down, here is where some of those problems arise. Let me go ahead and just push one of these buttons. Yeah, that's sounding kind of scary and crunchy. Yeah, not so good. It does stop eventually. Yeah, those little gears are not happy in there. Whew, not good at all. As we move down, you'll see we have our gear selector, cup holders kind of staggered. So we move here, we have a nice kind of an elbow print there from the person that gets in, which does happen. Seats looking nice and leather-esque, got a little bit of bolster on the side, and our door card looking good. So this is a family car, and this is what always makes me sad, is that when there is a bill and you're expecting, oh no, this could be $2,000 and $3,000, and you've got a little kiddo. Yeah, little kiddos aren't cheap. Daycare is not cheap, so wow, yeah, that's not a good thing to be anticipating a big bill. Luckily, the Wizard is able to save them. Headliner looking nice. And here we are back at our steering wheel, and everything is looking good. Lots of buttons on there, and we do have a cover on here. So we probably, with this many miles on here, probably have a little bit of blistering going on up here, but we're not going to take it off because that's where the customer wants it, and that's where we're going to keep it. So enough of this interior talk. Let's get this up in the air and see if we can find anything amiss underneath.
Over 200,000 miles on this Kia Optima. We'll see if it has any leaks or any damage. I do see in the condenser here, everything's nice and dry, nothing's leaking. Very easy to get to. There's no panels or anything here. We do see right here, maybe from previous oil changes, they've spilled some oil here. That may be just from oil changes. Let's check out these wheels. Brakes actually are very thin, 10 to 15% remaining. We'll let the customer know about it. See if they want to do that or not. CV boots are good. Struts are not blown. Sway bar link is good. Nothing loose. Same thing on the brakes here. They're getting very thin. Struts are not blown. Sway bar links are not loose. And nothing loose there. So you can see from, like I mentioned, previous oil changes, the little gasket's probably starting to go out. It's dripping oil. That's what our leak is coming from. We'll see if they want to do an oil change. We can take care of that and solve that leak and clean it up for them. So I can tell right away, 200,000 miles on this. I guarantee it's had at least one new engine. It looks brand new, guys. Look at that shiny aluminum. Very, very clean. A 200,000 mile engine won't look like brand new aluminum. So it's probably had a new engine, which is entirely not surprising to me at all. Guys, I really don't recommend 2014-15 Kia, probably not going to be the best buy for you. Catalytic converter still intact. Here's our resonator. Everything is stock. Here's our fuel tank up here. Nothing's leaking from there, thankfully. We do not have an all-wheel drive car, so there's no differential or anything back here. Do we have some tiny springs, Mrs. Wizard?
Those are quite cute.
Sway bar link is not loose. Our brakes in the back are actually very good. Probably 70% remaining. Nothing loose there. Sway bar link again is good. 70% on the brakes. Shocks are not blown. Sway bar link is not loose. Nothing loose there. It has 1 into 2 exhaust. It has dual exhaust tips. It looks like dual exhaust. It's actually not. It just has 1. So let's check the date codes on those tires. So they're about 5 years old. We can see 50th week of 2021. They do have a little tread left, but they are starting to get down to the wear bars. So here within the next 6 months or so, or maybe a year, it's probably time for some new tires. Let's get this thing on the ground. So underneath it doesn't need a whole lot. We can see, like we showed you when we were underneath the car, it's probably had at least one new engine in its life, possibly two. I've seen some on a third engine, I've heard of it. So if you watch Mrs. Wizard's interior review, you guys heard the noise it was making in the dash area. And as you select floor or vent or defrost, it makes a very terrible noise. And the customer was concerned that that was the reason why their AC is not blowing cold. They thought it was going to be very expensive. They were prepared to pony up the cash. You guys watched in previous videos where on some of these actuators, it's an entire dash out, especially on the late 90s, early 2000s F-150s and things. There's a lot of things inside of there. The whole dash has to come out. This one's not that bad, but it's still a little expensive to get to some of the actuators. It's not broken though. It works. It's just noisy. What was causing the AC to not blow cold? Let me show you. The reason why their AC was not blowing cold has nothing to do with anything in the dash at all. Here's what's the problem. This is an air conditioning service port. This is an H for high side, and down here you can see an L for low side. And Daniel's son checked this over, and he went to remove this little cap, and when he did, he heard a noise like this. And it was just leaking out of this, what's called a Schrader valve. I'll actually go get one and show you what a new one looks like. So here's what they look like. It's just like on a bicycle inner tube. When you guys were a kid, you remember it had a little Schrader valve inside where you fill it with air. You could get a special little tool and unscrew it and take it out and put a new one in. It's basically just got a little spring-loaded valve in there. It's a very common AC leak. There's been a lot of cars come in with AC not cooling, Schrader valves leaking. Now, if you want to do this work yourself, don't just get the tool and unscrew the Schrader valve. You will literally get blasted in the face with PAG oil and refrigerant. It'll be like a bomb went off. It's really bad, and it's not good for the environment. You need to have an AC machine to connect to it to pull what's left of the refrigerant out of the car. Then you can take the little valve out and replace it. Then recharge the system. Don't just go taking those little valves out. It won't be good, I promise. A Schrader valve leaking is a best case scenario because it doesn't destroy the system. It doesn't break anything. It just leaks the refrigerant out slowly. When it gets low enough, there's sensors that are built into the AC lines that can sense pressure, and they know when the pressure is too low, it shuts it off and it won't allow you to have AC anymore. It'll turn off the compressor. You go to turn on your AC, nothing happens. Sometimes a little light on the AC light will flash. It's saying there's something wrong. It's probably out of refrigerant. But it did not take $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to fix this problem. It's a couple $100 fixed. That includes refrigerant, valve, labor, diagnosis, everything out the door. We did offer the customer, if they want to spend the money to replace that actuator, it's not hurting anything, it's just noisy, it's kind of annoying. They said they don't want to spend the money on that, it still works. But we did get their AC back cooling again, and it did not take thousands of dollars. So I want to reiterate to you guys, when you take your vehicle to a shop, don't tell them what you think is wrong with your car. There are shops out there that will charge you for what you thought was wrong with your car, and then they'll just fix the little cheap item but charge you the big bill. And you don't know, you're none the wiser because I paid my bill, my AC's working again, I don't know anything more than that, so whatever. There's some shops out there that know that some of you out there are none the wiser and they would love to take you to the cleaners. Be very careful. Don't tell them what's wrong with your car. Let them tell you. So it does need some brake pads. They're getting pretty thin. It does need a crush washer, possibly an oil change, which they could wait a little while longer, not a whole lot, and the tires maybe have 10 to 20% remaining on them. But this is a city car. The average speed, as you saw in Mrs. Wizard's interior review, is like 30-something miles an hour. They just go around town, go to work or whatever. This could get them by for a little while longer if they want to bring it back and get the rest taken care of, but we will let them know that it's getting time for new brakes up front for sure. So definitely wanted to get a video out there to you guys, good information to show you when you take your car to a shop. Be very careful of the words you say. So we'll get this thing tallied up, get the customer called, see what they want to do. We've already fixed the AC. We know that that's solved. We'll see what they want to go any further with anything else. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to work on this Kia Optima or any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. The tools we use every day in the shop are listed for sale there. They're tried, true, proven tools. And if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new videos come out. Thanks for watching.